Hello everyone, this is Meenakshi Dilip Birari, working as a assistant professor in chemistry at Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj, Nasik. Today we are going to study types of fuels according to the physical state and their characteristics. We know that fuel is a substance which when burnt, that is on coming in contact and reacting with oxygen or air, produces heat. Thus, the substances classified as a fuel must necessarily contain one or several of the combustible elements, that may be carbon, hydrogen, sulfur, etc. Major petrochemicals are used as fuel. Fuels are naturally occurring or manufactured combustible organic substances which acts as a heat energy or as a raw material for the chemical industry. Industries require power for their routine operations, and heat energy is the main source of power. Therefore, those materials used for production of heat energy are termed as fuels. Nature has given us unlimited sources of energy of different forms. The energy of fuels can be utilized more effectively and more efficiently for various purposes. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss the types of fuels according to the physical state and their characteristics. So, the fuel is a substance which, when burnt, that is on coming in contact and reacting with oxygen or air, produces heat. Thus, the substances classified as a fuel must necessarily contain one or several of the combustible elements, that may be carbon, hydrogen, sulfur, etc. In the process of combustion, the chemical energy is converted into heat energy. The energy of fuels can be utilized more effectively and efficiently for various purposes. So, what is the classification of fuel? According to the physical state of fuels, these are classified into three groups: solid, liquid, and gaseous. So, the fuels, depending on the physical state, are classified as solid fuel, liquid fuel, and gaseous fuel. Coal, wood, shale, lignite, that is naturally occurring, also charcoal, coke, petroleum, these are the artificial fuels. All are examples of solid fuels. Then naturally occurring gasoline, crude petroleum, and artificial fuels such as petrol, kerosene, diesel oil, coal tar, alcohol, gas oil, etc. all are liquid fuels. Then gaseous fuels, for example natural gas or marsh gas is a natural fuel, and artificial fuel such as water gas, powder gas, coal gas, oil gas, acetylene, hydrogen, liquid petroleum gas, LPG, etc. These are the examples of gaseous fuels. Depending on the physical state, fuels are mainly classified into three types: solid fuel, liquid fuel, and gaseous fuel. Now we have to study in detail about solid, liquid, and gaseous fuels and also their characteristics. First of all, solid fuel and their characteristics. Solid fuels are mainly classified as natural, that may be wood, coal, and the manufactured fuel, these are charcoal, coke, briquettes. Now, what are the advantages of solid fuels? Solid fuels having number of advantages. They are easy to transport, they are convenient to store without any risk of spontaneous explosion. The cost of production is low. Then the solid fuels possess moderate ignition temperature. So these are the advantages of solid fuels. Solid fuels also having some disadvantages. So what are that? Their ash content is high. Their large proportion of heat is wasted. So one of the disadvantage, large proportion of heat is wasted. They burn with clinker formation. So what is clinker? That means they burn with the formation of stony residue. Clinker, that means formation of stony residue. Their combustion operation cannot be controlled easily and their cost of handling is high. So these are the disadvantages of solid fuels. Now let's see in detail about solid fuels. When a solid fuel is burned, the minerals form a residue that is known as ash. Some natural solid fuels are wood, peat, lignite, coal, etc. Solid fuels contain combustible organic materials and an incombustible or mineral part of a fuel consists of carbonates, silicates, phosphates, sulfates, sulfides of iron, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, potassium and sodium. So the solid fuel contains combustible organic materials and also an incombustible or mineral part which is known as blast. Among the solid fuels, wood, coke, coal and charcoal are commonly used, and the heat of combustion of fuel depends upon the composition of the fuel and on its moisture content. Fossil fuels. So fossil fuels are formed by natural processes such as an anaerobic decomposition of buried dead organisms. So fossil fuels are the fuels formed by natural processes that may be anaerobic decomposition of buried dead organisms. The age of organisms and their resulting fossil fuels is typically millions of years and sometimes exceeds 650 million years. Fossil fuels contain high percentage of carbon and include coal, petroleum and natural gas. Other more commonly used derivative of fossil fuels include kerosene and propane. They range from volatile materials with low carbon to hydrogen ratios like methane to liquid petroleum to non-volatile materials composed of almost pure carbon like anthracite, coal. Now what are the benefits of fossil fuels? Fossil fuels are of great importance because they can be burned, that means they can be oxidized to CO2 and water and produces significant amounts of energy per unit weight. The use of coal as a fuel produces recorded history, but the fossil fuels are of great importance because they can be burned, producing significant amount of energy per unit weight. There are some limitations of fossil fuels. The use of fossil fuels raises serious environmental concerns. Also, the burning of fossil fuel produces around 21.3 billion tons of carbon dioxide per year. So it is one of the important limitation. Produces around 21.3 billion tons of carbon dioxide per year. Carbon dioxide, that is CO2, is one of the greenhouse gases that enhances radioactive forcing and contributes to global warming. It also causes the average surface temperature of the earth to rise and will cause major adverse effect. A global movement towards the generation of renewable energy is therefore underway to help reduce global greenhouse gas emission. So we have to remember that the fossil fuels produces around 21.3 billion tons of carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is one of the greenhouse gases which are responsible to increase global warming. It also causes the average surface temperature of the earth to rise and will cause major adverse effect. So the renewable energy is under the way to help to reduce the global greenhouse gas emission. Fossil fuels also contain radioactive materials, mainly uranium and thorium, which are released into the atmosphere. And burning coal also generates the large amount of bottom ash and fly ash. So it generates bottom ash and also fly ash. So these are few limitations of fossil fuels. Now the another solid fuel, that is coal. Coal is the most common solid fuel. It is generally dark brown or black sedimentary rock which is derived from unoxidized remain of animal and plants. Coal is most important solid fuel and it can be divided into four classes. These are anthracite, bituminous, subbituminous or lignite. So these are the four important classes of coal. Coal, it is a combustible solid formed by the burial of partially decomposed vegetation in past geological ages under pressure and temperature. The variation in the proportion of various plant components causes the different types of coals. Chemically, coal is highly complex matter with varying amount of water. The content of impurities in coal make different grades of coal as anthracite, bituminous coals, subbituminous coals or block lignite or pulverized coal. When we observe this anthracite coal, it is a final stage of coal formation from vegetable matter. It is very hard, compact, black colored coal with semi-metallic luster and has highest percentage of fixed carbon. It has high calorific value about 14,000 to 15,000 BTU per LB. It lignites with difficulty and burns with intense heat without smoke. So it ignites with difficulty and also it burns with intense heat without smoke. Ash content is fairly high and it is useful for metallurgy, naval purposes. It is most prized among solid fuels and found in Himalayan hills and near Darjeeling. So that is all about first type, anthracite coal. Then the subbituminous coal. It is a dull black coal and has a calorific value less than bituminous coal. The calorific value is 7,000 to 14,000 BTU per LB. It is denser and harder than lignite and has less moisture than lignite. It ignites very easily. Then the another type, that is bituminous coal. This is a common commercial rand coal, black and harder than subbituminous coal. It has alternate dull and bright bands and has calorific value that is about 11,000 to 15,000 BTU per LB. It is a brittle and breaks easily into thin blocks. It has a good concentration of fixed carbon. It is easy to handle and have excellent heating qualities without smoke. Bituminous coal, it is widely used for manufacture of gas and coke. Subbituminous coal contains less carbon and more water and is therefore a less efficient source of heat. Then the last one, that is lignite coal. It is a brown coal. It is very soft coal that contains up to 70% water by weight. Anthracite coal, it is a dense hard rock with a jet black color. It contains between 86 to 98% carbon by weight. Bituminous coal, that is soft coal, it contains between 69% and 86% carbon by weight and is most abundant from the form of the coal. And this subbituminous, it contains less percentage of carbon, more amount of water. So these are the four important types of coal. Coal is the most important natural solid fuel. It is combustible solid fuel usually formed by the burial of partially decomposed vegetation in post-geological areas. Ages. Now the second one, that is liquid fuel and their characteristics. Liquid fuels are mainly classified as natural or crude oil and artificial or manufactured oil. What are the advantages of liquid fuels? The liquid fuels are characterized by high calorific value, low flash point, low viscosity at ordinary temperature, and low moisture and sulfur content. The main kinds of industrial liquid fuels are the products of petroleum refining. The single largest source of liquid fuel is petroleum, in which the ash and moisture content are almost negligible. The calorific value of petroleum is about 40,000 kilojoule per kilogram. So, liquid fuels have high calorific value. It burns without ash and dust or clinker formation. Firing is easier and also fire can extinguished easily by stopping fuel supply. It is also easy to transport. It can be stored without any loss. It is clean and economic. Also requires less furnace place. So these are the advantages of liquid fuels. Now what are disadvantages of liquid fuels? When we observe the cost of liquid fuels is higher. Then the special storage tanks are required for the storage of liquid fuels. There will be the greater risk of fire hazards. They have bad odor and specially operating burners are required for the liquid fuels. So these are the disadvantages of liquid fuels. Now let us see some examples of liquid fuels and their characteristics. So the liquid fuels that are in liquid form called liquid fuels. These are generally obtained from petroleum and its byproduct. These liquid fuels are a complex mixture of hydrocarbon that are obtained from refining the crude petroleum oil. Liquid fuels are characterized by very high calorific value, that is 40,000 kilojoule per kg, low flash point and also having low viscosity. So some of the liquid fuels are petrol, diesel, kerosene. So let's see the liquid fuel, that is diesel fuel. Diesel fuel have ignition without spark. It is also used as lubricating oil. It is mixture of high boiling point fraction, that is about 250 to 320 degrees Celsius in fractional distillation. Diesel fuel rated to their cetane numbers. The specific gravity of diesel fuel, it is in the range 0.86 to 0.95, and the calorific value, it is observed about 13,500 kilocalorie per kilogram. Diesel fuels such as kerosene gas oil and solar distillate are used in internal combustion piston engines, in which the ignition results from the compression of the gas. Diesel fuels are rated to their cetane number. If the cetane number is greater, the better will be the fuel. So already in previous lectures we have studied about cetane numbers, flash point and also the lubricating oils, and about calorific value of fuels. So the different properties of fuels we have studied in detail in previous lectures. So the diesel fuel, it should have the calorific value, that is about 13,500, specific gravity 0.86 to 0.95, the cetane number for diesel fuel, if that is greater, the better will be the fuel. And diesel fuel, it is a mixture of high boiling point fraction. Now what are the different types of diesel fuels? Diesel fuels are produced from various sources, the most common being petroleum, called petroleum diesel, and other sources include biomass, animal fats, biogas, natural gas and coal. So what are the types of diesel fuels? So these are petroleum diesel, synthetic diesel, biodiesel. So let's see one by one. First of all, petroleum diesel. Petroleum diesel is also called petrodiesel or fossil diesel, which is the most common type of diesel fuel. It is mixture of high boiling point fraction 250 to 320 degrees Celsius having carbon chain C8 to C21 carbon atoms per molecules in fractional distillation. It is produced from the fractional distillation of crude oil at atmospheric pressure, resulting in the mixture of carbon chain that typically contain C8 to C21 carbon atoms per molecule. So this type, that is the petroleum diesel, it is most common type and it is produced from the fractional distillation of crude oil between 200 to 350 degrees Celsius. Then the second one, synthetic diesel. Synthetic diesels can be produced from carbonaceous material including biomass, natural gas, biogas, coal and many others. The raw materials is gasified into synthetic gas which after purification is converted by the Fischer-Tropsch process to a synthetic diesel. The process is typically referred to as biomass to liquid, that is BTL, gas to liquid, that is GTL, and coal to liquid, that is CTL. So depending upon the raw material used, these are different processes. One is BTL, GTL and CTL. Paraffinic synthetic diesel generally has a near zero content of sulfur and very low aromatic content, reducing unregulated emissions of toxic hydrocarbons, nitrous oxides and particulate matter. So the synthetic diesels can be produced from carbonaceous material which includes biomass, biogas, natural gas, coal and many others. So the raw material is gasified into synthetic gas which after purification is converted by the Fischer-Tropsch process to a synthetic diesel. So this process already we have studied in previous lecture, that is Fischer-Tropsch process for the manufacturing of synthetic petroleum. Now the next one, that is biodiesel. Biodiesel refers to vegetable oil or animal fat based, that is biolipids, diesel fuel consisting long chain alkyl esters, that may be methyl, ethyl or propyl esters. Biodiesel is typically made by chemically reacting lipids, for example vegetable oil, animal fat with an alcohol producing fatty acid esters. Fatty acid methyl ester, that is FAME, more widely known as biodiesel, and it is mostly used. It has lower energy content than biodiesel due to its oxygen content, and as a result performance and fuel consumption can be affected. The loss of power when using biodiesel is 5% to 7%. Now what are the uses of biodiesel? Biodiesel is meant to be used in standard diesel engine and is thus distinct from the vegetable and waste oil used to fuel converted diesel engines. So it is used as a fuel in diesel engine. Biodiesel can be used alone or blended with petrodiesel in any proportions. Can be used alone or can be blended with petrodiesel. So these are the uses of biodiesel. Now what are the blends of biodiesel? So blends of biodiesel, these are 100% biodiesel labeled as B100, 20% biodiesel, 80% petrodiesel is labeled as B20, 5% biodiesel, 95% petrodiesel is labeled as B5 and 2% biodiesel, 98% petrodiesel is labeled as B2. So these are the blends of biodiesel. So these are the types of diesel fuels, that is petroleum diesel, synthetic diesel and biodiesel. Now the next one, gasoline or petrol. Gasoline or petrol is obtained between 40 to 120 degrees Celsius, and it is a mixture of hydrocarbons having low boiling points. It is used as fuel in internal combustion engines. The calorific value is 11,250 kilocalorie per kilogram. Purification of gasoline. The gasoline is passed through refining tank to remove the sulfur compounds and diolefins. The gasoline is made free from bad odor by NaOH washing, followed by sweetening using sodium hyposulfides, that are also called as thioalcohols. So whenever these are passed through NaOH and that are washing followed by sweetening with sodium hyposulfide, there may be the free gasoline with the free bad odor. Liquid sulfur trioxide or bauxite at 450 degrees Celsius, it also removes the coloring matter. So sulfur may be removed with alcoholic caustic soda and sodium butyrate, and the liquid sulfur trioxide or bauxite at 450 degrees Celsius removes coloring matter. The cracked gasoline is usually refined by vapor phase treatment. In this method, the vapor is allowed to pass through a tower containing hydrated aluminum silicate as well as nickel and cobalt oxides as catalyst at 310 degrees Celsius to 340 degrees Celsius. The sulfur compounds are adsorbed on the surface of the catalyst. These are then removed from the surface as H2S or SO2 during regeneration of the catalyst. Now this gasoline can be used as a fuel. So by using vapor phase treatment, the purification of gasoline can be carried out, or also the gasoline is passed to the refining tank to remove the sulfur compounds and diolefins. The gasoline is made free from bad odor by passing with NaOH washing and also followed by sweetening using sodium hyposulfides. Liquid sulfur trioxide or bauxite at 450 degrees Celsius, it also removes the coloring matter. Now what is aviation of fuel? So aviation fuel is specialized type of petroleum based fuel. Actually that is called propellant, which is used to power aircraft. It is generally of higher quality than fuels used in less critical applications such as heating or road transport, and often contains additives to reduce risk of explosion to high temperature. Most aviation fuels available for aircraft are kinds of petroleum spirit used in engine with spark plugs, for example that is piston and Wankel rotary engines, or for the jet turbine engines. American Society for Testing and Matter, that is ASTM, developed specification for automobile gasoline as well as aviation gasoline. As these are nothing but ASTM-D 910 and ASTM-D 6227 for aviation gasoline, and ASTM D439 or ASTM D 4814 for automobile gasoline. So these are nothing but American Society for Testing and Matter, which developed the different specification for automobile gasoline as well as aviation gasoline. So that will be represented by this one, ASTM. The production of aviation fuel falls into two categories. One is fuel suitable for internal combustion engine, and second one fuel which are suitable for turbine engines. Jet fuel must maintain a low viscosity at low temperature and meet definite limits in terms of density and calorific value. It also burns cleanly and remains chemically stable when heated to a high temperature. Aviation gasoline, it often referred to as a Eva gas, is highly refined form of gasoline for aircraft with an emphasis on purity, anti-knock characteristics and minimization of spark plug fouling. So aviation fuel is a specialized type of petroleum based fuel, actually propellant used to power aircraft, and it is generally of higher quality than fuels used in less critical applications such as heating or road transport, and often contain additives to reduce risk of explosion due to high temperature. Now the next one, that is gaseous fuel. Gaseous fuels are the fuel that are in gaseous phase. Gaseous fuels are also hydrocarbon which are derived from petroleum reserve. Most common gaseous fuel is natural gas, that is methyl is the main component. Gaseous fuel may also be produced artificially from burning solid fuel, that may be coal and water. Some of the gaseous fuels produced artificially, these are natural gas, coal gas, producer gas, etc. Gaseous fuels can be classified as manufactured gas or natural gas. The manufactured gases are obtained from solid and liquid fuels. Liquid petroleum gas, that is LPG, and compressed natural gas CNG are the two important gaseous fuels are manufactured by different processes. So the gaseous fuels are mainly classified into two groups, that is manufactured gas and natural gas. These manufactured gases obtained from solid and liquid fuels, liquid petroleum gas, that is LPG, and natural gas, that is compressed natural gas CNG, are the two important gaseous fuels which are manufactured by different process. Now what is the composition of the gaseous fuel? So first of all we will see liquid petroleum gas LPG, then about CNG. So gaseous fuels, these are nothing but available in gaseous form. So what are the characteristics and advantages of gaseous fuels? These are mainly classified as natural and artificial fuels. So what are the advantages? Gaseous fuels are easy to transport, they are easy to burn, also have high calorific value, it can be preheated, and the combustion is controlled. These fuels are clean in use, they burn without any soot or ash formation, and also the gaseous fuels, they may be free from impurities. So these are few advantages of gaseous fuels. Also gaseous fuels having some disadvantages. Gaseous fuels have very large storage tanks. It requires very large storage tanks. Also highly flammable, so chances of fire hazards is higher. So these are the two important disadvantages of gaseous fuels. It requires very large storage tanks, and also they may be highly flammable, so that the chances of fire hazards, it will be higher. Now we will see few examples of gaseous fuels. We can use the different gaseous fuels in day-to-day life. One of the example, that is liquid petroleum gas LPG. What is the composition of liquid petroleum gas LPG? LPG is a mixture of three hydrocarbons. These are butane, propane, ethane. The main constituents of petroleum gas is, however, butane. So what are the raw materials for liquid petroleum gas? LPG prepared from petroleum distillation plant. It contains low amount of alkenes. LPG prepared in the cracking plants contain a mixture of alkanes and alkenes. The high alkene variety of LPG contain N-butane, that is about 27%, 2-butane 25%, then 43% of propene, 2.5% of propane. The low alkene variety of LPG contains N-butane 70%, 2-butane 18.3%, butane 1.2%, propane 11.3%, and ethane 0.2%. So these are the raw materials which are required for the manufacturing of liquid petroleum gas LPG. That may be the composition and the raw materials related to LPG. So LPG, that may be the byproduct during fractional distillation of crude petroleum oil or by cracking of heavy oil. It consists of hydrocarbons, these are propane and butane, that will be liquefied under pressure, economically stored and transported in cylinders. LPG having higher calorific value, that is about 25,000 kilocalorie per meter cube. LPG constituent percentage of these are N-butane 38.5%, isobutane 37%, and propane 24.5%. So it consists of hydrocarbons and that is liquefied under pressure, economically stored and transported in cylinders. Now, what is the manufacturing process? LPG is generally manufactured from natural gas or the gas from the cracking units of petroleum refineries. So refinery operations, here the LPG is obtained from crude oil. LPG is extracted from natural gas as well as head by following processes. One is compression and cooling, then adsorption, absorption, cryogenic processes such as refrigeration by direct expansion based on Joule-Thomson effect, cascaded refrigeration, and turbo expansion. So in the first step, that is the manufacturing of LPG from crude oil, the gas is first dried in boxes containing activated silica gel and then compressed. The compressed gas is passed up the absorber below which a current of slow stream of straw oil flows. The straw oil helps to trap the heavier constituent of the gas but allows the lighter constituent to pass through it. The hydrocarbon rich solution from adsorbers are collected in series and then stream stripping lets off the trapped gases which have stripper as an overhead. So the mixture of lower hydrocarbons is condensed under high pressure in refrigeration units and fractionated in a de-ethanizer and debutanizer respectively. Then the overhead form from the debutanizer consists of only butane and propane. So this one is the manufacturing of LPG by using the first method. So the LPG gas is finally purified in a gear bottle washing column. So here the fractionating column, it is represented for the formation of the crude oil. Then the manufacturing of LPG is also carried out by using natural gas, so wet natural gas or associated gas. So LPG from natural gas, it is obtained by recovering of the required C3 or C4 fractions from the main refinery gases produced from distillation, thermal or catalytic cracking, reforming and hydrocracking gases. So this one is the figure in which we can observe the manufacturing of LPG from natural gas. So LPG gas is finally purified in a gear bottle washing column. Lower hydrocarbons are removed at this stage and it is then mixed with suitable quantities of mercaptan and that can be stored. So the manufacturing of LPG from natural gas. Here the gas is dried over activated silica gel and then that is compressed. The gas passed over absorber and straw oil helps to trap heavy constituents. Then the hydrocarbon rich solutions are collected and the mixture of lower hydrocarbons is condensed under high pressure in refrigeration unit. So that will be the actual manufacturing. In stepwise we can explain the manufacturing of LPG. The purification of LPG is finally carried out in gear bottle washing column. So here the lower hydrocarbons are removed at this stage and after that it is mixed with suitable quantities of mercaptan and then it is stored. Now what are the properties of LPG? The pressure of the gas at room temperature within the cooking cylinder is about 3 kg per centimeter cube in closed condition. Then the pressure decreases to 0.034 kg per centimeter cube during let off stage. LPG is normally free from moisture and H2S but contain trace amount of corrosive metals or corrosive materials. The calorific value of LPG is about 29,780 kilocalorie per meter cube. So we should remember the calorific value of LPG 29,780 kilocalorie per meter cube. So these are few properties of LPG. The pressure within cylinder is about 3 kg per centimeter cube. What are the uses of LPG? We know that LPG is used as domestic fuel. Also it is used for direct motor fuel and as a source of petrochemicals. Advantages of LPG. LPG is a very neat and clean domestic fuel. It burns with a smokeless flame and hence does not cause any pollution. It is easy to handle and convenient to store. It has high calorific value and also it is a good fuel. So as it have high calorific value, it is a good fuel. We have already studied the criteria or characteristics of a good fuel. So LPG burns with a smokeless flame and hence does not cause any pollution. It does not produce any poisonous gases on burning. It is easy to handle and convenient to store. It has high calorific value and hence a good fuel. So these are the properties, uses and advantages of LPG. Now let us see the second fuel, that is compressed natural gas, CNG. So CNG is a methane stored at high pressure gas. It can be used in place of gasoline or petrol, diesel fuel and LPG. CNG is used in automobiles. CNG on combustion produces fewer undesirable gases than the other fuels which are mentioned above. So it is safer than other fuels in the event of a spill because natural gas is lighter than air and disperses quickly when released. CNG may be found above oil deposits or may be collected from landfills or wastewater treatment plants where it is known as a biogas. CNG is made by compressing natural gas to less than 1% of the volume it occupies at standard atmospheric pressure. and it is stored and distributed in hard containers at a pressure of 29,000 to 32,100 psi, unusually in spherical cylindrical shapes that can be stored. CNG is used in traditional gasoline internal combustion engine automobiles that have been modified. CNG vehicles are increasingly used in Iran, Pakistan, Brazil, China, Argentina, Indian capital of Delhi, and also other large cities like Mumbai, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, Lucknow, Kanpur, etc. So we can compare the CNG with other natural gas fuels. So what is the comparison with other natural gas fuels and CNG? So these are few points which are related to the comparison with other fuels. So CNG stored at high pressure, while LNG, that is liquefied natural gas, is stored at very low temperature, becoming liquid in the process. Then CNG has lower cost of production and storage compared to LNG, as it does not require an expensive cooling process and cryogenic tanks. CNG requires much larger volume to store and use very high pressure, that is 3000 to 4000 psi. CNG is sometimes mixed with hydrogen, that is known as HCNG, which increases the H to C ratio, that is heat capacity ratio of the fuel, and gives it a flame speed about 8 times higher than CNG. So these are few comparative points of CNG with other natural gas fuels. So what are the advantages of CNG? CNG increases the life of lubricating oils. Also it mixes easily with other gases and evenly in air. CNG is less likely to ignite on hot surfaces since it has high auto ignition temperature. So it has a high ignition temperature, that is about 540 degrees Celsius, and a narrow range, that is 5 to 15% of flammability. Due to less pollution and more efficiency, CNG emits less pollutants, that are CO2, CONO, SO2, or also unburned hydrogen, that is UHC, and particulate matter. For example, petrol for 100 km emits 22 kilograms of CO2, while CNG emits 16.3 kg of CO2. So that CNG has less pollutants and more efficiency as compared to other fuels. But CNG also having some disadvantages. So what are the disadvantages of CNG? CNG vehicles require a greater amount of space for fuel storage than conventional gasoline or petrol power vehicles. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of CNG. Now the next one, that is also used as a fuel. So use of solar energy for power generation. So we know that solar energy is important source of renewable energy. Its technologies are broadly classified as a passive solar or active solar. Solar energy is a radiant light and heat from the sun harnessed using a range of even evolving technologies such as solar heating, solar photovoltaics, solar thermal energy. It is an important source of renewable energy and its technologies are broadly characterized as either passive solar or active solar, depending on the way they capture and distribute solar energy or convert it into solar power. So the active solar techniques that include the use of photovoltaic systems, concentrated solar power, and solar water heating to harness the energy. Whereas the passive solar techniques, it include orienting a building to the sun selecting materials with favorable thermal mass or light depressing properties and designing spaces that naturally circulate air. In 2011, the International Energy said that the development of affordable, inexhaustive, and clean solar energy technologies will have huge longer term benefits. It reduces pollution, lower the global warming, and keep fossil fuel prices lower. So let's discuss about the energy from the sun, that is called solar energy. The earth receives 174 petawatts solar radiations at the upper atmosphere, 30% reflected back and remaining absorbed by clouds, oceans and land masses. By photosynthesis, green plants convert solar energy into chemical energy which produces food and biomass. The amount of solar energy reaching the surface of earth in 1 year is twice as much as will ever be obtained from all of the earth's non-renewable resources. So when we observe the yearly solar fluxes and human energy consumption, we get such a type of the calculation. Here that will be the data which explains the early solar fluxes and human consumption. So the total solar energy absorbed by the Earth's atmosphere, ocean and hard masses is approximately 38 lakh 50,000 EJ per year. Photosynthesis capture approximately 3000 EJ per year in biomass, and the technical potential available from biomass is from 100 to 300 EJ per year. So the amount of solar energy reaching the surface of earth in 1 year is twice as much as will ever be obtained from all the earth's non-renewable resources of coal, oil and natural gas. Now what are the applications of solar technologies? So we know the different applications related to solar energy, that may be solar cooker, solar thermal, or also the solar energy used for electricity production. So first one, that is energy from the sun, that is solar energy, refers primarily to the use of solar radiation for practical ends. So agriculture and urban planning, in that sunlight has influenced binding building designs since beginning of architectural history. And the most recent approaches to solar design use computer modeling, tying together solar lighting, heating and ventilation systems in an integral solar design package. Second one, that is agriculture and horticulture, seek to optimize the capture of solar energy in order to optimize the productivity of plants. The techniques such as planting cycles, row orientations of varieties, staggered light between rows and mixing of plant varieties can improve crop yields. Transport, here the development of solar power has been an engineering goal since the 1980s. Nowadays, number of solar power vehicles are developed by engineers. Some vehicles use solar panels for auxiliary power, such as for air conditioning to keep the interior cool, and thus it reduces the fuel consumption. Then heating, cooling and ventilation. In USA, heating, cooling, ventilation and air conditioning systems account for 30% of the energy used in commercial buildings and nearly 50% the energy used in the residential buildings. Solar heating, cooling and ventilation technologies can be used to offset a proportion of this energy. Solar thermal, in that technologies can be used for water heating, space cooling and process heat generation. Water heating, the most common type of solar water heaters are evacuated tube collector 40% and glazed flat plate collector 34%, generally used for domestic hot water, and unglazed plastic collectors that are 21% used mainly to heat swimming pools. So these are nothing but solar water heater. The most common type of solar water heaters are evacuated tube collector, generally used for domestic hot water. Cooking. Solar cookers use sunlight for cooking, drying and pasteurization. They are grouped into three categories. These are box cookers, panel cookers, reflector cookers. Box cooker reach the temperature up to 90 to 150 degrees Celsius and reflector cooker reach the temperature up to 315 degrees Celsius. So solar cookers, these are useful for cooking with the help of sunlight, also for drying and pasteurization. Then the next one, electricity production. Solar power can convert into electricity either directly using photovoltaics or indirectly using concentrated solar power. PV converts light into electricity using photoelectric effect. It is used for outdoor lighting and irrigation pumps. Then CPS system use lenses or mirror and tracking systems to focus a large area of sunlight into small beam. It is used to generate electricity. Solar chemical processes use solar energy to derive chemical reactions, and these processes offset energy that would otherwise come from a fossil fuel source and can also convert solar energy into storable and transportable fuels. So solar induced chemical reactions can be divided into thermochemical and photochemical reactions. A variety of fuels can be produced by artificial photosynthesis, so that the solar energy is also useful for fuel production. It is also useful for the electricity production. So in today's lecture we have studied the types of fuels according to their physical state and also their characteristics. We have studied in detail about the advantages, disadvantages of different types of fuels. We have studied the properties, composition, advantages of LPG, CNG and also the solar energy for power generation. Thank you.